Yeah, this is August 17th, 2018. It is a Friday. Last year at this time I was dealing with PTSD really bad that had been magnified tenfold when I heard on TV that my pacemaker had been recalled. A few weeks from now, last year at this time, I went to the doctor, stopped in his office. I didn't even have an appointment to talk to him about my pacemaker being recalled. And he had a nonchalant attitude about it, talking to me in this lobby, waiting room, that not to worry about it, that if I got to feeling bad, go to the emergency room. And I told him, I said, well, I talked with St. Jude, the manufacturer, and the representative, and they told me to get a hold of you right away because the battery could suddenly fail. He's, well, as I said, if you're feeling all right, don't worry about it. If you get to feeling bad, go to the emergency room. And he walked away from me. Yeah, so my PTSD about running on a battery that had been plaguing me for 7 years just went right through the roof. Well, here it is a year later. I went through September and into October with stress that was just going right through the roof. Wondered if I was going to wake up some morning, or not wake up some morning, let's put it that way. Yeah, it was a very interesting situation. It just seemed like it was a perfect storm brewing, and it caught me in the middle of it. PTSD, pacemaker being recalled, got neuropathy in my feet. I can't breathe because of the contaminants in the environment. Birds in my house that gave off a powder. Love them birds. But she would leave them in the house. If I'm in the house, they had stuff all over. $750 worth of air filters didn't seem to help much, so I couldn't breathe. My back was killing me. I was just in really bad shape. And plus I was being fed tramadol, 2 tablets at a time, by the wife. I believed that it was her good intentions at the time, just trying to help me with my pain. Now I don't know. It's almost a year later, and now I'm beginning to have questions about whether it was good intentions or not. With what's taken place, I think she was disappointed a couple of times in the last 7 years that I didn't die. First pacemaker was put in 2011, was put in after she poisoned me with naproxen of at least 12 to 15,000. Let's put it this way, 500 milligram tablets. She's given me 2 of them at a time, at least 10, 12 times a day, for at least 7 days. It's a wonder I lived. I got a pacemaker put in me. For the next 7 years, things were not good. My health went all to hell. Seemed to be made worse by medications that I was taking. Make a long story short, my world in 2 months, in a year from now, in 2 months, a year from now, was destroyed. She set me up, got me arrested, put out, haven't heard a word from her since. Last words I heard from her was, this is, quote, this is just like it was 37 years ago with him. Her ex-husband she's referring to, a husband that was also ill, was on the verge of a coronary heart attack because his body was so depleted due to the anorexia nervosa that he had. He was down to 125 pounds. She was told, and he was told, that any kind of stress on him could cause him to have a coronary heart attack due to he was dissolving himself because he wasn't eating. When he did eat, he just got rid of it, puked it. Now she walked out on him and 4 children, a family, a home. Yeah, she said this was just like it was with him 37 years ago. Yeah, in some ways it is. My health was pretty well shot. I felt like I was going to die. I was ready to die. I felt worthless because I couldn't do anything anymore. I don't know how she was treating him 37 years ago, but if it was any way that she'd been treating me in the last 7 years with such disrespect, even commented to me about, well, you're still alive, you're 70 years old, and you're still here. And I said, well, yeah, what do you mean? She said, well, you told me the Lord told you that you wouldn't die, that he promised you 70 plus 10 years. Well, that makes you 70, and you're 70 and a half now, you're still here. And that was said to her about July at this time of the year, last month, a year ago. I said, well, read the scripture. Didn't bother to tell her that the rest of the scripture said, well, no, I did tell her now, come think of it. I did tell her, well, if you'd have read the rest of the scripture that I quoted to you, it says after that if you remain strong, you can live longer. I said, so I'm trying to be strong here in spite of what's going on with my health. I'm trying to be strong so I can live a lot longer. He didn't say I was going to die at 70. He just said, he promised me that. Plus, if I remain stronger, I could live longer. Well, the way I am right now, I don't feel like I'm going to live another week. Anyhow, my world blew up. I think she got tired of waiting on me to die and just decided to discard me. And all hell broke loose. The lies, the rumors, all was meant to stress me out. But I'm still here. And I will be here next year at this time. Maybe not here in this location, but I will still be alive next year at this time. Unless somebody takes it in their hands to do something about changing my goal in life, because I plan on living a long time. Since I've been out of that toxic environment, and that toxic environment was toxic environmentally, emotionally, intellectually, sexually, and just about everywhere you could think. But since I've been out of that, I've been doing a lot better. I'm disabled still, and I'll probably be disabled the rest of my life, because I put 37 years of my life, my blood, sweat, and tears into building a business for us that I've also been removed from, that I had not been able to work in for at least 8 to 12 months. I mean, at this time last year, I was not able to work. This time last year, actually, I was trying to monitor roofers putting on new roofs with great difficulty. It was very hard for me to do that because I couldn't hardly walk. And when I did walk, I was taking a few more pills myself just to enable me to be able to go out and monitor, because they weren't doing the job they were supposed to be doing. And I caught them doing it. I guess they figured because I was disabled they could get away with anything, that I wouldn't know about it. Well, I meandered out there one day and saw that they were putting a roof on not according to the requirements of code. So they had to tear it off and start over again. Anyhow, got new roofs put on. And I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what's been going on with her. But since then, I've found out a lot of information. Yeah, it is very similar to what it was like with him 37 years ago. She was lying to me like she was lying to him back then. She had bills due that she did not communicate with me about, that she had due back then that she didn't communicate with her previous husband with. She was also having an affair, and I don't know if she was having something like that now. I don't know. I have to draw the line there. I can't picture her having, well, an affair doesn't have to be sexual, man. An affair can just be intellectual or emotional. And she definitely knows how to love bomb somebody and use them. She's been using me now since I've been out of the forest and can see the trees. I realize now that she started using me 37 years ago. Started love bombing me, gaslighting me, and now I'm going to add a new term to this whole pathological narcissist deal, and that's logic bombing. The logic bombs that she has created in my consciousness of what has been going on in the last 37 years are going off. I cannot believe it. assessment. There is such a thing as love bombing, yes. There's also such a thing as logic bombs. Some of those are set years in advance, and some of those have been going off with me. I cannot believe this is the person I was with that's behaving the way she's been behaving in the last few years. Now I'm finding out that I'm told that sometimes medications can change a person, that cancer can change a person, the hormones, especially with women. God help you, women, those poor hormones that play havoc with you, especially when they're out of balance, can actually change her. Love is a second-hand emotion, they say. Well, I never much believed in love. Love is a feeling. It's a very enjoyable feeling. I've believed in commitment. You make a commitment to somebody. You promise to commit to them. The word love to me, is a feeling, and it's a very pleasant feeling when it's good. But you don't get through life loving somebody if you're not committed. So I was committed. I lived based upon commitment. Well, that commitment was brought to a tragic, hostile, abusive end last October. By her, not me. I tried to get us help. I really tried to get us help. Went to a mental health facility to get marriage counseling and was willing to accept anger management for myself because I knew something was wrong. Something was wrong with our situation. Something was very wrong. Well, I'm learning now, I think, what was wrong. I don't think she cared a damn thing about my health issues. I think she was in denial more than she'd ever been before about her health issues. If she was aware of them, I can understand it stressing her out, but I don't know nothing. She wasn't communicating with me, and I asked her numerous times, I can't help you if you don't communicate to me. If you don't tell me the truth, I can't help you. I can't operate on helping anything, situations or anything, intellectually, because right now that's all I can do is offer you advice. I can't do much physically. But if you don't communicate with me, you deceive me, you lie to me, I can't help you. Well, I think that's what she was doing. The same thing she did with a previous husband 37 years ago. She lied to him, didn't communicate with him, hid a lot of things from him, and then when she feared being discovered, she panicked and ran. Well, I don't think she wanted to run this time. I don't know what was going on, but she made damn sure that if I wasn't going to die. If she'd have waited another week, I might have. I don't know. I'd told her that before about her previous husband. If you'd have waited another 2 weeks, he probably would have died, but you moved too quickly on it. Well, several months later, she wanted to know if I'd kill him. I told her, I said, if he ain't died from stress yet, he ain't going to die. She said, well, if we put a little more stress on him, scare him, maybe too much, and he'll have a heart attack and die. Yeah, right. I think that's what she was hoping would happen to me, because I'd gone to the hospital. Oh, I think it was just a few weeks now in September. And 30 days later, hell broke loose. Went to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. She didn't go with me. I had to drive myself to the hospital. She wouldn't even do that. I'd said to her at the time, I said, if you keep this up, I can't take it anymore. Keep it up, I'm going to have to call EMTs. I think I said police at the time, but meant EMTs. Or I'm going to have to go to the hospital. She wouldn't stop. I was in my stocking feet, shorts, and a t-shirt. I walked out of the house. I couldn't stand to be in there anymore. I walked out of the house and went to the hospital. I was sure I was having a heart attack. Well, 30 days later, I think she tried again to cause me to have a heart attack or do something stupid. I don't know what. I don't know. She's not the person I've known for 37 years, about 30-some years. 7 years ago, she changed. When I got my first pacemaker, she changed. I really wonder what was going on back then. I really do. Can't prove it, but something just tells me that, hey, she wasn't giving you all that naproxen because she cared about your pain. In actuality, I feel that it was actually increasing my pain. think it damn near killed me. But after I got out of the hospital and had a pacemaker put in me, she was different. First I thought it was because I was running on a pacemaker, but she was different. Just didn't have, I don't know, something changed, something drastically changed. So Holy Spirit sort of tells me that I need to be thankful that I'm still alive. And I am. I'm thankful that I'm still alive. Something very wrong there, anyhow. Pursuing a petition for divorce. Got my papers back today, her response from her attorney. I guess she went out and got one finally. She couldn't afford one before. I was waiting for her to divorce me. Well, my lawyer kept telling me, defense lawyer and everybody else kept telling me, you need to divorce her, you need to divorce her. Even the caseworker at the hospital was telling me, you need to divorce your wife, you need to stop thinking about your wife, you need to divorce her. And that's all I kept hearing. Even from my therapist, I heard the same thing. You need to divorce her. I think they knew something I was not prepared to wrap my head around yet back then. I am now. She's very ill, not just physically, emotionally, mentally. In her response to my petition for divorce, she doesn't want to give me anything, and she wants me to pay her attorney. I called my attorney, and they tell me, oh, that's standard, you know. That's usually the way a respondent responds. It's not really the respondent, it's usually the lawyer that responds that way. So it's nothing to be concerned about or worry about right now. But I was prepared and had an offer I was going to give her 2.5 weeks ago. I was practically going to hand her everything, but she wouldn't talk to me. So if you're going to disrespect me even to the point where I'm still trying to help you and you won't even talk to me, she won't even talk to me. So the heck with it, told the lawyer. Whatever, it's community property now as far as I'm concerned. Half that business is mine. Half of that property is mine. So whatever we got to do. I don't know what's going on with her. I have no idea. I hear rumors. He said, well, the rumors don't mean nothing. You got to operate on what you know about your situation. You cannot sit and not operate because you hear rumors. So whatever the rumors are, if they're true, well, that's the way it goes. If they're not, well, I'm not going to sit and be held hostage by rumors. So I'm pursuing a petition for divorce. Hopefully the business can be sold. Or if she wants it, she can buy my half out. I'd buy her half out. She can keep the house. I don't care. I'll take the damn business and the business property. I can do something with that that should have been done with it years ago that she wouldn't allow me to do. I can turn that into a operating business where people learn a trade and can go on and reap the rewards that we have been blessed with doing what we've been doing for 37 years. She just didn't want to share it with anybody, so it never worked. I built the brick and mortar to be able to provide that, but she didn't want that. She didn't want employees. She didn't want students. She didn't want a school. She didn't even want the mobile grooming van that I bought and ran for 5 years. I'm working in the shop until 3 o'clock, going out in the mobile, working 10:30 at night. There were a few times she went with me. The majority of the time, she didn't want nothing more to do with that. Well, I couldn't do both. I couldn't work in the shop, take care of repairs at the house, at the shop, and that was when we were still at the house. We didn't have the building next door yet. I mean, I put a lot of money and time, sweat, and tears into that brick and mortar and into the advertising and the promoting and the endorsements and so forth for the business. There was a couple hours a day in the morning, early hour mornings before we even opened, that I spent answering emails, replying to stuff on Facebook that she wanted nothing whatsoever to do with. Her idea of work was grooming dogs every day. And you weren't grooming dogs every day, every hour. You weren't working. Well, I don't know what she thought building the shop was, taking care of maintenance, grooming dogs, bathing dogs for her, handling dogs that she couldn't handle, working with advertising, websites, responding to emails, setting up accounts for business accounts for supplies and equipment and stuff that she had nothing to do with. That's just amazing that she thinks that, you know, the only type of work that's involved there is being grooming dogs and matching her. And number one, you can't compete with her grooming. If you do 10 dogs, she'll beat you on 12. If you do 8, she'll do 10. If you do 15, she'll do 18. I mean, she's just so competitive that it's just bizarre. And I told her, look, I'm not competing with you. I says, if I win, you lose. I says, if you win, I lose. I said, more importantly, if either one of us defeats the other, we're defeating the business. And that's not what we're here for. This is a business. We're serving the business. The business should be serving us. The business is not something we compete for. We own the business together. She didn't seem to understand that. Now she's telling me she doesn't want to give me anything. But that's, like I said, that's what the attorney, assistant, or the attorney says, that that's just standard response from another attorney, to deny you everything and disagree with this. The only thing she agreed with was that she would take back her maiden name. Yeah, she stole my name 37 years ago, 5 years before we were married. She took the name, went and got a driver's license. I said, how in the world did you do that? She said, I just went down and told them I got married. Told them what the new name was. They wrote me maybe a new driver's license. So her name was my name 5 years before we ever got married. Well, she's willing to give that back now. She stole it in the first place without my permission. I wasn't married to her. I didn't plan on marrying her either. I was trying to talk her into going back to her ex-husband, or her husband at the time, kids. Yeah, she was still married in the early days. He divorced her within 6 months, I guess. Tried to talk her into going back to that, but she would not do it. Spent 10 years trying to talk her into going to the doctor for medical reasons that she refused to do. Yeah, my assistant pastor at my church wanted to know, he says, well, didn't you not see the red flags? I said, well, no, not really. I says, you know, she was love bombing the hell out of me, you know. I mean, I was the greatest thing on earth. She had me believing I was the best thing on earth that ever happened to her. So no, I didn't see no red flags. I can see them now, looking back, but I didn't see them back then. I says, you know, over that 5-year period, you know, I mean, no, I didn't see them. I see them now. I wish I could have seen them then. I really do. I would have saved wasting 37 years of my life. There were times in that 37 years, though, that I do recall saying to her, you know, sometimes you make me feel like I'm spinning my wheels. And you don't seem to be grateful for anything that I'm doing. You just make me feel like I take 3 steps forward and you put me 5 steps back. So, yeah, I maybe saw the red flags, but they weren't red to me. You know, when I make a commitment to somebody or something, a person, place, or thing, I make a commitment. I'm not ready to fold my cards, walk, and push away from the table. I'm going to keep playing and try to teach somebody how to play cards. You know, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm tired of all this mental gymnastics and exercises I've got to do. Just tired of it. I'll be glad when it's all over with. And if the rumors that she's got health problems so badly she could die are true, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know, there is a penalty for not listening to one that does care about you, and I cared about that woman for 37 years. Tried to give her advice, tried to share wisdom, tried to share my insights, tried to share my knowledge. She just disrespected it, ignored it, overruled it, and went about doing what she wanted to do irregardless. Well, now it's all caught up with her, and if her health has gone that bad and she's having problems health-wise, doesn't surprise me. I'm serious, doesn't surprise me. Tried to get her to a doctor. All she wanted to do was use a doctor to get pills, a doctor to get her thyroid and her hormone pills from. Anybody that wanted any further tests or exams, she'd leave that doctor, go to another doctor that would just give her pills. When they started suggesting she needed a mammogram or this or that, she'd quit them, go find another doctor that would give her pills. So whatever is wrong with her physically, if she is at death's door, I'm praying. I am praying for her. Let it be God's will, not mine. Because there are days my will says I hope she dies. There are other days I say, I don't want her to die. I don't want her to die. Yeah, I'm using a black background for these conversations. Because that's just about where it's at. I'm not being told nothing, and I'm stuck between morning. I was going to say morning and evening. Yeah, no, I'm stuck between possibly mourning for her and being angry with her. But I'm past the point of being angry because, you know, there's no point being angry with her. She's tried to make me angry at her for 37 years, and my anger wasn't suitable enough for her. She wanted more than just mental anger. She wanted physical anger. She wanted me to manifest some kind of physical anger towards her, and I don't do that. This is my anger right here. I logic stuff out. I come to a conclusion, and then it's like, well, there it is. There's the conclusion. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's all I can do is lead you to the trough. And if you don't drink, that's your problem. Well, now she's suffering possible health problems that may end up costing her life. The only thing I can say about that is I wish maybe I would have tried some other tactics. I wish I hadn't been so private and silent. I wish I would have went ahead and contacted her family. And well, if I'd have done that, this situation would have probably came to an end years ago, because that's why she had nothing more to do with her family when she left her previous husband. Because her family was wise to her. They knew what she was pulling. He was talking to them. So when she pulled her stuff, she had nothing to do but get away, because they weren't going to be on her side. They were on his side. Well, she made doggone sure I couldn't get anybody on my side. She waited till everybody in my family was dead. Father, brothers, sisters. I got a sister that's still alive in Florida, but didn't take her long to figure out my sister and I aren't that close, so she didn't have to worry about her. She turned my son against me. Of course, that was a fragile relationship in and of itself. Had nothing to do with her. His relationship with me and mine with him has always been basically a one-sided deal. I was the one pursuing a relationship with someone who didn't want one with me. I did not want Bible scripture to be true, that the father would be against the son against the father. I forgave, and forgave. Overlooked, tolerated his allegations. But now that's done, because she managed to use this to turn him completely now. I mean, he has nothing to do with me. If I died, I doubt if he'd even care. Matter of fact, he even said to me, he says, you know, you should never have gotten that pacemaker. He said this several years ago. That's what he's talking about, never got a pacemaker. He said, you should have never allowed him to put a pacemaker in you. I said, well, I would have died without it. He said, well, then your time was up. I said, excuse me, on the phone to him. I said, what do you mean my time was up? He said, hey, if you couldn't live without that pacemaker, then your time was up and you should have died. I said, really? That's the way you feel about it? He said, yeah. He said, I think you were wrong in allowing them to put that pacemaker in you. Your time was up. Your number was up. You allowed man to interfere and keep you here. You should have died. You should have been gone back in 2011. I said, so you would not do that if you knew you were going to die and a pacemaker could save your life? So I'll never let him do that to me. I said, so if next week you get an accident, the doctor comes to you and says, hey, in order to save your life, we're going to have to put a pacemaker in you because you got damage to your heart. You tell him no? He said, yeah. I said, well, what if you got diabetes and you had to watch your diet? Maybe you don't even take medication. Are you going to still eat as you damn well please? He said, well, if I can't eat what I want, then I guess my time's up. He said, I'll eat what I want and then I'll die, I guess. I said, "Boy, you got a real weird, bizarre attitude about life." And I says, "Did you ever think that maybe the Lord gave man the knowledge to be able to create a pacemaker to extend the life of people?" When your time's up, any artificial means that would keep you alive means that you're denying the fact that your time's up. I don't know, maybe you weren't ready to go, and that's why you allowed him to do that. I says, "Hey, I'm ready to go anytime the Lord wants to take me. But I'm not going to sit there and refuse a pacemaker that's going to keep me alive, that's obviously been created." He said, "Well, that was created and invented by man. God had nothing to do with that." I said, "Well, I'm not going to get into a religious debate with you on philosophy, on theology, but I'm sorry you feel that way. But if that's the way you are, I hope you got a DNR." He said, "DNR?" I said, "Yeah, do not resuscitate." I said, "That's an artificial means to keep you alive. So if you pass out in the park or at work or something, I hope you got a DNR so that when they get you to the hospital, they won't use any means to keep you alive that would be necessary to keep you alive. They'll have to let you die, but you have to have a DNR, a do not resuscitate order, on file. Otherwise, they're going to try to resuscitate you, and that will violate what you believe." He said, "Well, I don't know about that." He said, "I'll look into that." I said, "Oh, God." Yeah, it's the world has gone insane. If we're not living in the end days, I'd be surprised. But everything seems to tell me that the insanity, now the end days may be another 100 years, I don't know. These are just signs of the end days. If we're not in the end days very soon, I'm not going to be one to predict when it's over, but something's very crazy that's going on. And if this is persecution, if this is tribulations, causing me to tribulate over a son who's saying I should have not had a pacemaker because my time was up and I should have died. Wow. Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah, that's crazy. In other words, I should not have taken you a doctor when you were a little boy, when you had a fever and gastritis and was in horrible pain. I should have let you die. You know, I mean, that's drug talk. That's a person with a brain that has been affected by medications, drugs that he abused at another time in his life and may still be abusing for all I know. Hell, he might have been high when he was telling me that. I don't know. I had a brother that told me some things too. My mother informed me, well, he must have been drunk when he was telling you that. So, you know. Well, it's been 31 minutes now. I've talked long enough, but yeah, we're going to see here. 71 years old, 37-year relationship, married to a woman, 37 years, built a business, paid for a home twice, probably the business property's all paid for, and she doesn't want me to have anything. She don't even want me to have my life. I mean, what she did to me a year ago in September, or in October, if it wasn't for the Lord, I don't think I'd be here today, because I was in pretty bad shape when they took me out of there, put me in jail, and then released me the next morning. I was in pretty doggone bad shape. Staying in motels for 2 weeks, and then ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks. Yeah. I had to go to extremes to make damn sure that I got a pacemaker that wouldn't have a battery fail. There are people that seems to have interpreted what I did that was extreme to make certain that I had a pacemaker that would not fail. They seem to have interpreted it that I was trying to do something else, which I would not do. It never crossed my mind. I just knew that I'm going to get me a pacemaker that won't fail. I'm not going to be out here like this and go to sleep and nobody around to realize that I need help because I'm not waking up, because my pacemakers failed during the night while I was asleep, and the stress that I was under due to the whole situation. I think she thought that would push me over the edge, like she thought she could push her ex-husband over the edge 37 years ago. Can't prove any of that, but I think they got a name for it. What is it called? Yeah, here. Well, it's all this Black Widow. She had a Black Widow syndrome. After she's done using you and abusing you, then she wants to kill you. In other words, eat you, destroy you, consume you, make you disappear. So that's where I'm at.